I bet a lot of people out there still remember that audition on Britain's Got Talent. You know, the one with Susan Boyle singing I Dreamed a Dream.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It was really incredible to watch her become a global sensation almost overnight.
Totally. It seemed like the whole world was talking about her.
Hmm.
But there's so much more to her story than just that performance. We're going to deep dive into the life of Susan Boyle today and see what we can uncover, maybe even some things that people don't know about her.
It's definitely a really interesting story, you know? There's something about her that just connects with people everywhere. This desire to see someone overcome adversity and achieve those dreams, no matter who they are or where they came from.
Yeah, for sure. So she grew up in Scotland, right? Youngest of 10 children, so I imagine that had to be tough.
Oh, yeah, definitely not easy. Back then, being labeled a slow learner wasn't exactly a good thing. It carried a lot of weight and made things harder. And if she had Asperger's, as some sources suggest, that school environment had to have been especially difficult.
Oh, absolutely. So what was her way of dealing with all that? We know she loved music and sang in the church choir. Did those local competitions?
Music was definitely her outlet, and some sources talk about her facing bullying and even corporal punishment in school. So, I mean, that must have contributed to her shyness, you know, and the difficulties she had with social interaction. Music probably gave her a place to express herself, a way to escape.
Right, so that makes her decision to go on Britain's Got Talent even more interesting. What do you think it was that finally made her take that leap, knowing everything she'd been through?
It seems like her mother really pushed her to use her talent, to let the world hear her voice. But Susan, she hesitated for years. Then, after her mother passed away in 2007, Susan decided to audition the following year, almost like it was a tribute to her mom.
So it wasn't just about becoming famous, but more about honoring her mother's belief in her. Wow, it adds another dimension to that whole audition.
Definitely, just think about it. Someone who hardly ever performed in front of people stepping out onto a stage with millions watching. That must have taken incredible courage, especially knowing how much she struggled with things like social anxiety.
And then she just blows everyone away with, I dreamed a dream. Instant viral sensation,
Yeah.
right? I think it was the most viewed YouTube video at the time.
Yeah, and it wasn't just about the singing, it was the emotion, the power in her voice. It was like this ordinary woman doing something incredible. People connected with that, with the hope and inspiration she represented.
And even though she didn't actually win the competition, her life was totally changed after that. Her first album, I Dreamed a Dream, broke all kinds of records. Fastest selling debut album by a female artist ever, I think.
That really shows the power of her story, how much her music connected with people. It was truly a Cinderella story.
But we know real life is more complicated than fairy tales. All that fame, all the attention, it definitely had an impact on her.
Yeah, that's the thing about fame. It brings opportunities, but it also puts you under a microscope. It's relentless, and for someone like Susan with Asperger's, who thrived on routine and struggled with social interaction, it must have been incredibly overwhelming.
And she also had epilepsy to deal with. We sometimes forget, behind all the success, behind those amazing performances, there's a real person facing real challenges.
Absolutely. And eventually, all that pressure led to her being admitted to a mental health facility right after Britain's Got Talent ended. It was a really tough time for her, but it definitely sparked a conversation about mental health and the support that artists need, especially when they're thrust into that world of sudden fame.
For sure. It made people realize that even with all the glitz and glamour, there's a human being behind it all, someone who needs care and understanding.
It's kind of funny when you think about how she dealt with becoming rich and famous. You know, you'd think she'd change everything up, like most people would.
Right? No crazy spending sprees, didn't run off to buy some huge mansion or anything. She stayed right there in her childhood home, that little council house, even with all that money she was making.
Yeah, it definitely shows how grounded she is, how connected she is to where she came from. It's like a total contrast to all those celebrities who are obsessed with fancy stuff. Her focus stayed on her music, her family, and her community.
And faith has always been a big part of her life too, hasn't it? She's a devout Roman Catholic, and she's always been involved with her church.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Faith has always been a source of strength for her, especially during those tough times. You can see that in so many of her interviews, it comes up all the time.
It's interesting, though, she also got involved in politics, like when she supported that Better Together campaign, the one about Scotland staying in the UK.
Yeah, that probably surprised some people. It shows that she's not afraid to speak her mind, to stand up for what she believes in. She's not just a singer. She's got strong opinions and values.
Right, exactly. She's got depth, you know what I mean? So Even though she wasn't always in the spotlight, she never really disappeared either.
She kept making music, putting out albums like The Gift, Someone to Watch Over Me, and Standing Ovation. It's like she was exploring all these different styles. And then she released A Wonderful World in 2016. Kind of felt like a more reflective period for her.
Then in 2019, she came out with 10, marking 10 years in the music biz. It was like a big celebration of everything she'd done, proof that she was still a force to be reckoned with. But behind the scenes, it seems like her health was starting to become a problem.
Yeah, she was still out there performing, but there were signs that things weren't quite right.
And then in 2023, she revealed that she had had a minor stroke the year before. It was a shock to everyone, really showed what she'd been going through privately.
It also showed how strong she is, you know. She didn't give up. She let everyone know she was on the road to recovery and that she was looking forward to performing again.
It's kind of like that resilience she had to find early on in life. With all the bullying and the learning challenges, it just comes full circle. She just keeps bouncing back no matter what.
That's what's so amazing about her story. I mean, think about it. Childhood bullying, learning difficulties, the crazy pressure of fame, and now these health issues. But she never gives up. It's inspiring.
It's a reminder that even in the world of entertainment, where everything seems perfect, real life still happens. And having the courage to face those challenges head on, that's truly inspiring.
Susan Boyle's more than just a singer, really. She's like a symbol of hope, resilience, and just being true to yourself.
So where's Susan Boyle today? Where do things stand?
Well, from what we know, she's focusing on getting better, recovering from that stroke. Her health is the priority right now.
Yeah, of course. But knowing Susan and how determined she is, I wouldn't be surprised if she's got more music planned for the future.
Oh, I totally agree. Music is such a huge part of her life, and she's even hinted that she's got more to share.
Well, her fans are definitely ready for it. They've always been incredibly supportive throughout her whole career.
And she really appreciates that. She's talked about how much strength she gets from their messages and support.
It's amazing when you think about everything she's achieved. Millions of albums sold, performances for royalty, touched so many lives with her music.
She's a global icon, defied expectations, stayed true to herself.
And to think it all started with that one audition on Britain's Got Talent.
Yeah, that performance changed everything, put her on this incredible path.
I think what really makes her story so special is that it reminds us that greatness can come from anywhere, from anyone.
It challenges our ideas about what a star should be. How they should look, how they should sound.
Susan Boyle proved that talent and passion and just being genuine, those things connect with people on a deep level.
It's like she showed us that sometimes the most powerful voices are the ones that have been ignored or underestimated.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive into Susan Boyle's life, I'm curious, what do you think it is about her story that resonates so deeply with people around the world?
It's hard to say exactly. It's a lot of things, I think. Her vulnerability, the way she's so real, and that determination that never wavers. And maybe it's a reminder that we all have dreams, dreams waiting to be discovered.
Susan Boyle's journey is a testament to the power of the human spirit and the magic of music. It's a story that keeps inspiring us, reminding us that it's never too late to chase our dreams and that true talent, it always finds a way to shine through.